Hey everyone. I probably have 40 to 50 of these Orwellian terms, but I'm just going to give you a few because I want to keep this relatively short. So let's get to it. Number one, the government speak term is selling treasury bonds. Sounds pretty good. What it means is we're begging to borrow more money. China didn't buy anything from us. We didn't sell them anything. Uh, China loaned us $4 trillion. Now, you might say, well, so what? What's the difference? Well, I think the government speak term has a very subtle propaganda effect, and that is if the government says it's selling something, that sounds pretty positive. Maybe we're selling some unneeded assets, or maybe we're selling something to increase the government's income with no downside. That's quite different from borrowing money because you're spending way beyond your means. All right, number two, the government speak term is income inequality. And what that means nowadays is the greatest transfer of wealth from the poor and middle classes up to the upper crust in the history of the world. You know, income inequality, that sounds rather mild and innocuous. And that's the term that the political oligarchs in D.C. use. That in no way describes the enormity of this transfer of wealth that has occurred in the last, 10, 20 years, and particularly in the last uh, maybe 5 or 8 years. So I think it's important that we keep track of what's going on here. The greatest transfer of wealth in history. Okay, number three, jobs report. They like to banter that around quite a bit. The jobs report is a report on the latest number of low paying jobs created. That's what the jobs report is. Number four, income taxes. Well, we all know what that is. What it really is dollars collected to pay the interest on the national debt. That's where the overwhelming bulk of your income taxes go. And much of that interest is paid to central banks around the world, including the Fed and its member banks. All right, number five, be sure to vote. Every so often, politicians talk about voting. What they mean by that is be sure to perpetuate the rigged game. Because no matter who you vote for, Democrat or Republican, it doesn't matter. That individual, there's about a 99.9% chance that that individual was selected, groomed, and financed by the rich and powerful. So it doesn't really matter who gets elected. They owe their allegiance to the rich and powerful. And you Democrats in particular, boy, if Obama hasn't proven that to you in 6 years, then you'll never be convinced. Not ever. Okay, maybe one more. Quantitative easing. Well, that means printing money out of thin air in order to devalue the dollar even further. Whenever they flood the market with money like that, it's cheap money or free money to the mega banks. What they're doing is simply reducing the dollar, which means prices are going to go up because it'll take more dollars to buy the same goods as before. Now, they claim that price inflation, as they call it, is very low. But that's not true. What's happening is many manufacturers are downsizing their products and keeping the price the same. So when the government does its little survey of price increases, those products don't show up. And in a separate video, I gave examples of that. And there are lots and lots and lots of examples. Now, if you can't really visualize how flooding the market with all this money out of thin air cheapens the dollar, look at it this way. What if all the beaches of the world were or consisted of grains of gold instead of grains of sand? Every beach in the world, grains of gold. What do you think the value of an ounce of those grains of gold would be? It wouldn't be $1,200 like it is today, that's for sure. It would be virtually nothing. It would be as much as sand is worth today. Anytime you increase the amount of something, you lower the value of each unit of that something. And that's what happens with QE, or quantitative easing. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching. And maybe I'll make another one of these with some more of these terms, because we really do have an Orwellian government, no doubt about it. Take care.